Hello Capricorn, welcome to your Moving On reading. Moving On is exactly that. It's a reading dedicated to moving on principles, moving forward, transformation, change, you name it. But often we can find ourselves stuck or stagnant or confused about the concept. Why aren't we on track with it? How come I can't, quote unquote, get over something or someone, that kind of thing, and we know we're supposed to or that we should, and we're struggling to meet that goal. That's what Moving On is all about. It addresses that. So having said that, Moving On is strictly non-reversal. There is no them, there is no they. It is personal accountability and growth only, which means it's not the easiest of readings to hear, and I understand that and I appreciate it. So if this is where we need to part ways, cool, I understand. It's not an offense to me, but this is essentially real tarot where it concentrates solely on the self, all right? So no them or they to bank on for our woes. Don't get me wrong, we all have, and I mean all have, extenuating circumstances, situations, and people that can really take away from or add to our lives. The idea is, what are we doing about it, though? Or what are we not doing about it? How are we responding? How are we not responding? That's where the self comes in, okay? And the whole core concept around moving on. There you go. So, if you can hang in there and watch this, cool. I'm glad to have you. Cross-watchers, you are welcome, of course. But this is the opportunity to gain insight, learn, and grow, not to add to those grievances. I am very strict about that. I'm not into sign bashing, and I'm really not into people who air their unresolved grievances towards another sign. It's not the opportunity to do that, and it's never a good opportunity to do that. I'm not into it. If it's not in the interest of growing or sharing, then I don't see the point of it. Okay? And do keep in mind, whatever hardship I see for Capricorn or any other sign that you might be cross-watching, yours is coming up too. We all need room for growth and improvement. There's no such thing as a straight shot when you're alive, honey. Sometimes we're all just doing the best we can. Be you part of the collective, the cross-watcher, whatever. Okay? Speaking of doing the best we can, for those of you who missed the pinned comment, on the bonus check-in out last Sunday, I addressed it. I am aware that the Capricorn segment was missing. I was hyper aware of it, and in fact, I pinned it straight away at the top of the comment as soon as the message was released. So for those of you who missed it, perfectly reasonable explanation and how I'm going to make it up to you, please check out that message. I addressed it over 50 times. I don't understand it personally. If you are typing comments, that means you can read them. So if anything is amiss, out of place, the number one thing to do, guys, for any reason at all, is to check for any pinned comments or anything different in the description box, okay? I can't speak for other readers, but I'm pretty consistent. You can set your watch by me. If not everyone was treated the same or a message wasn't out on time, I promise you, there's a darn good reason. So yeah, check that one out. I will make it up to you and extend most likely your next Sunday shuffle. Okay? All right. Show me Capricorn and they're moving on. Show me Capricorn and they're moving on. Show me Capricorn. And they're moving on. Show me Capricorn and they're moving on, please. I'm bringing it up so intensely is because I cannot believe how many Capricorns unfortunately took it to a bad place. Like I was a slight on your sign. And that's absolutely ludicrous. I would never do that. And that just kind of, it's not me, it's that person. I know, honey. Some people got those negative glasses on all day, every day. Everything's a disaster. Everything's on purpose. Everything's going to fail. The, glass is half empty type. It's unfortunate. They're the ones who aren't going to see their extended. Okay. Beautiful. Strength. Crossing. Well, not crossing, but things you have to address first is the very thing you're trying to avoid. Let me put the cards down and then we'll explain. Okay. 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 All right. Okay, good. You're showing me elements of balance. I got this, but I'm not sure. You're showing me back and forth between I can do this and I'm not sure. Typical human experience, so nothing mind-blowing too far. In other words, you look like a normal human person to me. So strength, what is it? Having strength, confidence towards something, the gumption. I got this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Strength, just confidence, I got it. That is it. you feel like you need strength to approach something to accomplish this particular goal of either moving on, moving forward, or opening up towards something, because right now you don't know if you can address a particular subject that's difficult to you, which brings us to point 2. Seven of Swords, it's the bridge you need to cross. We have to stop avoiding an issue. So Seven of Swords, there's no pretty way to address that, guys. We all do it. We all experience. And if you say you don't, or you insist you don't, that's a Five of Swords, which is even worse. So Seven of Swords is really a basic human function that says, I can't deal with this right now. I'm going to sidestep it. And then we'll say it later. I didn't mean to avoid it. I didn't mean to put it off. I wasn't in a space to deal with it. And that's typically what it looks like or sounds like in the 3D as we experience it. So your first step to moving on is that you understand you need strength, but it's kind of like today is not that day. That's active avoidance. To cross the bridge of moving on or moving forward, you're going to have to stop avoiding that key issue. And we'll take a deeper look at what that key issue is. But right now, you are showing me Seven of Swords. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it right now. It takes too much strength to do this. That tells me there's a little bit of fear in there. Okay? Seven of Wands. Feelings you need to confront. Blockage. That's a lot of active blockage, active denial, active avoidance. It's like you're telling me across this board, Christina, I don't want to deal with it. Get off my ass about it. I don't want to do it. And I'm going to push back on you and say, yes, you can. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing these other elements. I know you can. Whichever this is, yes, you can. But I think you've gotten so used to telling yourself that you can't, that you actually believe it. So not only do we mentally avoid a particular subject, we physically avoid it. We're defensive about it. So the Capricorn I'm looking at, if this resonates with you at all, the fur on your back is already, it's already raised up, and you're like trying to figure out how pissed you should be. If you haven't turned me off already. In which case, bye. That's fine. I don't want you to watch anything that would upset you or come into conflict, because if you're in a Seven of Swords and you don't want to hear this, you won't. You'll turn it off. And I would challenge you to stay and listen, but that's not up to me. That's up to you. So again, if you're literally not in the space where you can be confrontational, and that's a lot of non-confrontational energy, I can't say I'm surprised. And if that's where you are, then that's where you are. Take it for what it is. Learn from it as best you can. And hope for the best that you will open up later. Okay, Knight of Wands, hidden energies. You actually have some oomph in you that you don't quite seem to know is there. It's kind of like reserve on tap, but you haven't pulled on that particular tap. There's an excitement in you. Instead of restraining and holding back, a part of you wants to launch forward. You have more energy towards this than you know. And the Knight of Wands, he's a little cheeky. So that tells me you have a little more confidence hidden in there than you know. We'll get back to that. Strengths. You are telling me that you actually have an aptitude for communication. It's one of your strengths that you can use to resolve this. Three of Pentacles. Lessons that must be learned in order for you to successfully move forward. Cooperation. Okay? Starting with the bare bones, basics of trust and implementation between you and something else or a situation. If not a person, then it's a situation, the Three of Pentacles. I can learn that, or I need to learn or see that I can put solid work into something to make it happen. I have to trust my experience, not my fears, right? And then the future pathway, whichever this is hopefully I'm seeing resolution with the Six of Pentacles. It's kind of like saying, I got this, I balanced it, but I gave myself no credit that I could. So let's jump on into this. Show me strength, please, for Capricorn. Show me strength, please. Show me strength, please, for Capricorn. The World, the Stars, King of Swords. Wow. You're saying I need strength to open a whole new cycle, Christina, and it scares the hell out of me. Ooh. It's a big one, too. It's a big old opening, too. It's not a little casual thing, is it? No, Capricorn's not doing casual today. It seems to be an all or nothing type situation. Ooh, what that is to you, I do not know. Somebody got some very prominent Aquarius and or Leo in your chart. Wow. You said you need strength to open a cycle. A big one. You said it's the star to you. In other words, it's muy, muy important. Or you understand from the King of Swords point of view that it is. It's a big old wish, want, dream, desire, hope. And you're like, I want to open towards that, but I don't know if I have the strength. You're saying this takes strength, it takes courage, it takes strength, it takes courage. And because you feel that you are not equipped for strength or courage in regards to this thing, which is not tic-tac sized, it's actually quite sizable. Or at least you understand it can be. This big old hope, dream, and wish. Because it takes all that reserve energy. You're like, I can't, I'm not even equipped to deal with this today. I'm not equipped to deal with this today, Christina. So I've been avoiding it. You're saying it's going to take a lot of energy for you to accomplish this because it means a lot to you, right? And Capricorn, you're kind of famous for that not half-assed energy. It's kind of like, I got to know I can make this happen, in which case Capricorn doesn't really take a risk. You take calculated risks. Big difference. Big difference. And you're like, this is going to take a calculated risk, and I don't feel like I'm on the side of, on the side of positive risk for whatever this is. But you want it. You're strongly attracted to it. Here we have the World. So with strength here, you're saying it would take strength to open this cycle, not close it. This is opening. Or rather, you would like it to open. Wow. Making them dreams come true. You'd like to. Seven of Swords. But the first thing you need to do to cross the bridge is to stop avoiding it. What is it about you that you need to confront? Your thoughts, your feelings, your surroundings. Yeah, oh yeah, surroundings can be confrontational too. You ever been in an environment that you are part of, you're used to it, but doesn't exactly encourage growth? Yep, that we keep ourselves in it. We don't understand how it's affecting us or how it's holding us back. We continue to participate in unsupportive or unhealthy environments. Who knows? Well, let's stop talking about it and let's take a look. Show me that Seven of Swords, please. Okay, show me that Seven of Swords, please. Show me that Seven of Swords. First steps. What is it we need to stop avoiding? I knew I was going to see it. God dang it! I need to start calling these because I see them before they hit the table, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. I'm like, I know I'm going to see the Five of Cups, and so it was the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups. Okay. There's a sense of comfort zone here. I don't know if I can do this. It means possibly parting ways with an emotional dynamic that you understand will upset others, but not necessarily you. It's just easier not to think about it. So the Five of Cups being cut in half, or from the Ten of Cups, what you're left with is still a Five of Cups. So there is this sense of emotional disappointment. It does look like a surrounding environment that says if you make changes, you're just kind of like, you're assuming everyone will be upset or unsupportive. That's interesting. So it's easier not to think about it. Would they? Are you assuming that? Or do you know that to be, in fact, true? Is that a non-supportive emotional environment? And is that why you avoid it? It's like, this is my comfort zone, and by the way, I'm not exactly supported to do these things. It means a lot to me, but not necessarily others, and I don't feel I would get the emotional support and or feedback that I need to thrive in this. Is this coming down to a self-worth and self-confidence issue, Capricorn? Non-supportive emotional environment, family, friends, general network connectivity in that respect. Comfort zone with the Queen of Pentacles, self-worth, self-knowledge of self-worth. Is that what that is? You don't feel like you're emotionally supported, or that you're an emotionally supportive or conducive environment for your bigger goals and or dreams, and besides, you kind of got a comfort zone. You're in a particular dynamic. You know, just kind of be easier not to. This feeling that you would not be supported by family and friends or whoever else is in your immediate emotional circle, is that coming from a sense of poor self-reflection? That doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but if we believe it's true, then by God, we're going to live it. We will do it. So do you know that to be true, or do you just kind of like, is that what you're telling yourself? Big difference. I feel it's a little bit of mix of things here. Okay, this is speaking to lack of emotional support about the dreams and or structures that you would deign to go after. So it's just kind of easier to avoid it, and that's all kind of wrapped up into your sense of self-worth, particularly in that feeling or assumption that you will not be supported by family and friends. So it's kept you from really generating or opening up towards a cycle that, from your point of view, would actually mean a lot to you, but you're saying it would take the strength of the lion to do this. It would take the determination of the King of Swords, who has a vision, to do this, to really make this happen. Have you really talked to your immediate circle about these things? Because Seven of Swords is kind of like, it feels like you're assuming that you won't be supported, so you hadn't bothered. It was one of the reasons to turn this down or avoid it. You just assumed you wouldn't receive support. Or that, you know, God forbid, you weren't being called practical. Something like that. Because it's more personal to you. Perhaps it's not as practical, but it means a lot to you. All right, let's see that Seven of Wands, please. Sorry. Could be worse. Feelings to confront, Seven of Wands, blockage. Active blockage. It's one thing to mentally dodge something, and this is just straight up. Feelings to confront your own sense of blockage. Show me that Seven of Wands, please. Show me that Seven of Wands. Show me that Seven of Wands, please. Nine of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands. It's seriously, it's kind of like you're saying, my day will come, but I don't know if you really believe that. There's a part of you that gets huge gratification in moving on this, and it's kind of like that's enough to tide me over. You know, it just, the idea of it makes me feel really, really good, and then, you know, when I think about it and I reflect upon it, it makes me feel good. It's an Ace of Wands, it's a star to me, and it personally makes me feel happy, Nine of Cups, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Just thinking about it is enough for me. Is it? And then you find delay tactics with the Hanged Man. Does this really make me feel good, though? Does this really inspire me all that much, though? Or am I just giving this thing way too much credit? It's probably too fanciful. If it feels this good to me personally, it can't be any good. It kind of feels like that. So just thinking about it in a positive way, in a hopeful way, makes you feel good, but it's kind of like that suffices. I'll just touch on it a little bit in my feeling, but I don't actually have any real intention towards it. No. Whatever that is, I just know it makes, the idea of it makes you feel really good, but it's kind of like feeling good about it, that's good enough. I'm not going to actually do anything with it. Interesting. Feel free to tell me what it is. So far, all you've told me is that it would take a tremendous amount of strength to pull the trigger on it. And I agree. In that respect, I do agree with you. I'm not giving you a hard time about that. The star is no easy thing. And I'm sure you've heard me say it before. The star is different compared to the sun. The sun is easy by far, much easier by far in comparison to the star. The star is a far-reaching consequence. You have to stay on that pathway. You have to work towards it. It's self-dream, self-fulfillment, desires. They don't just fall in your lap, right? You got to work towards that star. The sun, you just step outside your front door. It takes next to nothing to really be happy. So the star is harder, is my point. So when you're telling me you need strength to fulfill that star, your hopes, dreams, and then also it's far-reaching, so longevity is attached to it. When you say it takes strength, I believe you. But I also feel like you haven't really given yourself permission to try. And the thing about the star pathway, you don't know if it's your pathway until you start trying. And I mean really trying, not just, well, really, the idea of it makes me feel good, but nah, that's not trying. It's just the inflation comes from pondering that thing that makes us feel good. But that's not trying. That's temporary emotional inflation. You won't really know that the star is for you until you bring it more into reality, and that means real steps. And I haven't seen a page yet. Show me that Knight of Wands, please. Show me that Knight of Wands. Hidden energy. You have a oomph in you. You have the chutzpah, right? You have an energizer battery in you somewhere with that Knight of Wands that says, I have energy, man. It can move fast. It can move swift. The Hierophant, Seven of Cups. The Queen of Cups. How interesting. You really have to commit to your feelings on this one, honey. I have to agree with Spirit on this. You have to commit to your feelings. You really do. And it's hidden, which is unfortunate. So you can't really commit to feelings you don't know are there. And that's hard advice, but it's also real. Until you really commit to your feeling on this subject, you're really not going to feel any closure on it either. You have to know. It's not enough to just contemplate how much this thing makes you happy. Again, you're going to have to start taking steps to understanding in the 3D world if that star is right for you. And in order to do that, you have... I'm sorry, I have to push back on you. You've got plenty of energy to do this. You really do. You do. It's almost like you're trying to discount yourself at every conceivable level to talk yourself out of this. And I grant you, like I just said, I know the star's harder, but look how much more important it is to you compared to what it is that's already in your real world. Excuse me. So I know it's that much more important. But don't tell me you don't have the energy for this. Yes, you do. It's hidden. It's there. It's available to you. It's just you have to commit to your feeling for that hidden energy to become not hidden. Okay? Make sense? You have to acknowledge that you have the feeling, you have the spirit, you have the energetic oomph, the drive, and the heart. The heart. To really commit to your feelings that you want this, you love this, and part of you is spiritually devoted to it. Take those hidden energies out of the hidden, and then they will become available to you. But right now I see you, a great deal of your energy is devoted to suppressing these concepts. Again, it's coming from that place of, I just like reflecting on it. Do you? Is that enough for you? It just satisfies me to reflect upon it, that it could be mine. That's good enough for me. I don't believe you. Eight of Wands is in your strength. Oh no, you got the energy to take this on. I'm going to push back you on that. You have to commit to those feelings. Acknowledge them, pull them out of your hidden energies, and say, this is true. I really do feel this. I actually have very strong feelings on the subject. And I also admit to myself that I'm actually spiritually kind of attached to this, whatever it is. Okay. Show me the Eight of Wands, please. There's your strengths. I hate being so vague, but moving on typically is. It's whatever it means to you. Eight of Wands. Ace of Swords. Death. Eight of Swords. See, you're not using your strengths at all. This is anti-strength, so your strengths is clearly communication, particularly the communication of ideas, Ace of Swords, and you're saying, nope. Death with the Eight of Swords. I'm too confused. Therefore, we're not doing anything. You're not making use of your strengths to communicate something that you could clearly communicate and articulate if you chose. And I see you not choosing it. You could. Strength to communicate a solid truth. Nope. It's too confusing. You're the one with the Ace of Swords. That means you could clear up that confusion if you wanted to. But in that process of Eight of Swords, procrastination, put it off, I can't see, it's keeping us from communicating and doing what it is that we need to communicate and do. But it's there. It's there at your disposal. Otherwise, they wouldn't have shown me your skills. I apologize. Lessons that you need to learn. Three of Pentacles. Trust the things for which you have built in the past. Trust your own sense of cooperation, that you have the skills, that you have the ability to build something from the ground up. You've done it before. Show that Three of Pentacles, please. The Lovers. Two of Swords, the Three of Swords. You have some pain knocking around in your heart from a lover type, friendship type thing. I'm not making light of that. No, of course not. What they have to do with it, I don't know. But there is a lesson in here about some of you have learned some things the hard way. Not all connections can be worked through. That's true. And some of you are held at bay by very strong connections that you might have felt very strongly about in the past that didn't work out, that caused a lot of heart pain, rejection, confusion. And you're kind of like, I really wanted that thing, and it didn't work out, not even as friends. Why should I put any more of myself into this thing? How do I know it's not going to be like that thing? You don't. And that's what it is to be alive. No. The last time, that was a very strong lesson, huh? Those are the lessons you need to learn in order to move on. You had very strong lessons about very strong connections with the lovers / friends. Three of Pentacles is the bare bone structures of cooperation, more so in human relationships, not just work. And it's like we couldn't even make it work at the friendship level. That's what happened the last time I wanted something really bad. Why would I be so stupid as to do this? Because it's not the same gig. That's why. Just because some things in your life that were really, really important didn't work out doesn't mean it's a failure. It just means that wasn't meant to work out. You were supposed to aim somewhere else, aim higher, aim sideways. But there are some things we're not meant to keep, but they are meant to teach us things that we try at all. Otherwise, we will never really know what we're made of, what it is we're capable of doing, and more to the point, what it is we're able to bring in for ourselves unless we try. So don't tell me you don't have the energy for this. Don't tell me it doesn't excite you. Don't tell me that you that you don't have the skills and ability. I'm going to say that's not true. You've been busy this whole time trying to convince yourself and me that this isn't a good fit for you. And all I'm saying is that the more you protest, the more I don't believe you. You will not know until you try. And you sitting here thinking about it, I know it temporarily makes you feel good. Kind of like, you ever been on a diet, right? And let's say you go out to have dinner with your friend and they order the cheesecake and you're like, oh, I don't need anything. It's enough for me to watch you eat it, right? Right? Yeah. It's like I'm watching them and it looks good. It looks really good. It looks so yummy. But look at me. I'm refraining. It's not for me. That cheesecake's not for me. It's for you, but it's not for me. I'll just enjoy watching you eat it. And that might make you feel good temporarily. Then you have different contemplations about why you withheld and why you didn't partake and, you know, how good you feel for rejecting it. But you have enough of those incidences and moments where you keep denying yourself everything you want. You don't really feel strong and disciplined so much as you just feel self-denying. So imagine that. Let's take it from cheesecake to something much more substantial, to say the star, and you keep telling yourself you're fine without your star. When all you've done is show me active blockage towards said star, I'm sorry, I just don't believe you. I want you to try your hand at it before you completely give up on it, because you're not done with the energy, not by a long shot. And it also doesn't look like it's done with you either. It wants you to try it out. It wants you to put your hand into it. It wants you to. That's why it's there. It's not to tempt you or to screw you up or to make you fall. It's kind of like the thing with the lovers here at the Three of Pentacles. We couldn't even make it work at the friendship level, Christina. Yeah, it's a different star, different day. I don't know. It might be a more developed version of that. I don't know. The point is, you're not going to know either until you try. And I can't make you. And you telling me that your family won't support it, that feels like a half-truth. That feels like a half-truth to me. Maybe not everyone in your immediate circle will support it. Does that really matter, though? You're the one who has to live it. Lessons to learn. Not everything you reach for will hurt you. But everything you don't try to reach for will hurt you later because you didn't try. You know. You have the energy. You do. You even have the skills, even while you insist that you don't. Let's do that Six of Pentacles, please. Show me that Six of Pentacles, please. Show me that Six of Pentacles. I don't know if this has to do with work, going into your own business. relationship context, just something that means a lot to you, that you could potentially launch yourself into. And yes, it will take strength. Oh, but what could you do? All the energy you've spent into rejecting this. Imagine if you put the energy into accepting it. You might be a whole other Capricorn. King of Pentacles, Emperor, the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Very good. You might start doing that. We'll see. That's true. I'm very happy for you. Unfortunately, Taurus got so close and then they shut it down in the 11th hour. But this is not you. That's a lot of energy. That's self-possessive. I like this. Self-claiming. Very beautiful. Your future path looks strong if you allow it. I see you opening up towards something in a constructive effort. You have to know that you want it. I told you. You have to claim the feelings. You have to commit to those feelings. I see you declaring something that says this is for me and I feel good about it. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put some realistic power into this. Realistic, independent energy into this. I can do it. It's just a Six of Pentacles. I kind of like your plan here. It's kind of like saying, it's just a Six of Pentacles. If I just think of it as a Six of Pentacles, a balance, then it's all good, man. It's all gravy. I got this. King of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Knight of Cups. Could be that you were talking with somebody, okay, at the emotional level, but you two are balancing. I don't know. It could also be that all that is you, and you're putting some very strong energy forward into what looks like a plan. A starting plan, like I said, to start putting your hand into this, whatever it is. Good. In other words, you start balancing with you and allowing yourself to see and express your life in the way that you have been feeling inclined towards for I don't know how long, and rejecting just as long too. I'm saying this. There's no rejection here. There's no putting offing here. There's no denial. There's no self-denial. You're not turning down the cheesecake here. Whatever this cheesecake is, and honey, I love me some cheesecake, but whatever this is to you, think of it as your best cheesecake ever. And you have begun to put realistic work into it, and as you have done so and continue to do so, you actually put work into you. Because it was your goal, it was your dream, and no one else can do it but you. So when we abide by the rules of our own dreams, wishes, wants, and expectations, we do the best we can. We're often rewarded for it, but we won't know until we allow ourselves to try. And that's what I see you doing, so congratulations to you. You are indeed allowing yourself to try. I'm very happy for you. Whether or not it's your star forever, I don't know, but I see you putting some darn good parts of yourself into this in order to get it going, balance it, and possibly sustain it for the long term. And it's some of the best parts of you here with the Knight of Cups, so I know your sincerity's in this. And these are these hidden emotions we were talking about commit to the feeling. Commit to the feeling within you. Commit to the energy you have within you. If you really want to get this going. And you had some, I grant you, that's a painful lesson, I understand. I had a very strong connection once, and I couldn't even make friends out of it. Why should I put my whole hat in that particular star arena? And I don't know what that star is to you. It could be work, yeah, could be love, sure. I've seen a little bit of those components here and there. It could be either or. I just know that you're doing it for you. And we're not defaulting onto old excuses or whatever to keep us from it anymore. You want to participate in this, and so you have. And that's a little bit more than a hand, so I'm actually happy to see that. You actually surpassed a page. You surpassed the page, and you surpassed the Three of Pentacles, and you went straight into the Six of Pentacles. And oh boy, you look like you're really comfortable there, and happy and empowered that you did this for you. No one else but you. Okay? Oh, good, good, good. You saw me so much restraint, honey, and I understand this. I understand the history here, and it would make anyone leery to try their hat in anything important again. And I don't just mean, like, the Lovers and the Star, they're not that far apart in terms of spiritual importance to us. They're both equally important. And so if I say, you know, this one didn't work out, I could see why you would feel negative about any strong feeling like that ever again. But this one has stayed with you, and it's stayed with you, and it's stayed. And I see you refraining and refraining. Bless you, honey. You're so used to denying dessert. Like, you're so used to, but there's a little bit more than a dessert, you know? It's a life path. It's a calling, and it's beautiful. I don't know if it's because you want to mend bridges with this. I don't know if this is a different star path altogether. I just know that it's here, and by the time that you're engaging with this, you mean it, and it sits very well with you. Well done, Capricorn. Well done. I'm very pleased. I am very pleased. I thought you were just going to show me straight up rejection from even your strengths. Even your strengths were like, I don't know that I can communicate that. No. I thought you were just going to show me this is really, really important to me, Christina, but I'm just going to say no across the board. I thought that's where you were going, honestly. And then you're like, 6 Pentacles, though. I'd like to have really finessed that bridge a little better. But I think we got, well, whether you got there. Look at that. Look at all that strong energy. Look! Look, look, look. Strength. We got repeating. Very good. Strength. The Emperor, the Knight of Swords. I don't know when you'll be taking action towards this, but you will be. I see you authorizing some action from that place of strength that you keep saying you need to tap into in order to address this or get your hand, or start to get your hand on that star. Okay. That's what I'm seeing for you. Let's get some timelines here. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, for some, oh, October, that was so specific. That's lovely. That's lovely. I like that, October. I just realized I didn't switch out your face card. I apologize, honey. I'm very tired. And that's not a reflection on you or the sign. It's just a reflection of my own particular work week, which is quite extensive. When you're truly ready for it, and for some of you, you'll be truly ready for it by October. Okay? I do hope this helped you. It was quite lovely, and I was very happy to see this, you know. I thought you were going to lead me on to this, all this fantastic emotional energy, and I want this, and desires and dreams and hopes, and I got the skills for it too, babe. I got the skills for it. No. And I know something marks your heart as a serious grievance. I couldn't even make this work at the friendship level. Why would I put myself into something just as important again? It's not the same thing. Or you've evolved since then. That's why. Some things are for you, some things are not for you. But we only really truly limit ourselves as human beings if we refuse to understand why or try again. You know? That's all. Anyway, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Congratulations to you. Take care. Be well.